Okay, we're gonna make some of the best brownies you've ever had, and I kid you not. Okay, what's in that bowl is 2 sticks of butter, 2 sticks of margarine, and 9 ounces of shortening. You know, I just used Crisco. All right, now what you want to do, listen, when you're making these brownies, you have to put everything in order. They have to go in the right order, the ingredients. All right, so what I'm doing here is I'm creaming the butter, the margarine, and the Crisco. Now you don't want to whip it. You just want to cream it. You know, you want to get it smooth and creamy. All right, so let's see. The next I'm going to add 2 cups of eggs, or 8 jumbo eggs. Here, let me tell you, when I worked in the hotels and restaurants, we always weighed our ingredients. I never used a cup or a tablespoon or anything like that. We always had a scale and we would weigh everything. You know, that's just how it goes. So this recipe I broke down like 10 times. In other words, you would use 10 pounds of butter, 30 pounds of sugar, etc. So, I just divided it. But this recipe is in pounds and ounces. It's not in, whatchamacallit. It's not in cups and tablespoons. Okay, now, there went 3 pounds of sugar. I know it sounds like a lot, I know. Okay, so, excuse me. So you have a half pound of butter, a half pound of margarine, 9 ounces of shortening. Now you're going to add the sugar, which we just did. All right? And we're mixing it up. We don't want to whip it. You don't want to whip it. You just want to cream it. Okay, now it goes in 1 pound and 1 ounce of what was that stuff? Corn syrup. Wait a minute. Let me make sure it's 1 pound. Hold on. Hold on, hold on. I don't want you guys to screw it up. Wait a minute. Okay, it is 1 pound and 1 ounce of corn syrup. You could use the dark or the light, either way. I like the light for this. Okay, then, let me see. Then we're going to add, once that gets mixed in, then we're going to add 8 jumbo eggs. Now, listen, the sugar now, after the eggs go in, the sugar will be dissolved. Okay? Okay, there's 4 eggs. Now we got 4 more coming. Okay. Now here's the thing with brownies, just like with cookies, you can't over mix it. They're going to be screwed up if you over mix it. Now this stuff here, you can mix this all day long, but once you add the flour and the cocoa, you cannot over mix it. If you do, you're going to have tough brownies. Instead of being chewy, they're going to be tough. So, like I said, this stuff here, you can mix it all day. I mean, you don't want to whip the butter, but you can cream it all day long, Now, what happens is you want to add the flour and the cocoa and the walnuts or pecans, whichever one you're using. You want to add that all at once, and you don't want to over mix it. That's very important. This KitchenAid that I have, oh, there goes the 1 ounce. Oh no, wait a minute. No, that's 1 pound of corn syrup. Okay, now the sugar's got to be dissolved. There's no question about it. Oh, also with the corn syrup, what you want to do is you put them put them in a you know, like a big pot or something, and put warm water in it, you know, hot water from the sink, and let them sit in there for while you're doing all this other stuff. Let the corn syrup sit in the warm water. That way when you open it and go to pour it in, it'll come out. If you don't, oh man, it's just real slow. It won't come out. I mean, it's a real pain. So just put it in some warm water and you don't have a problem. Okay, so now what I have is 2 cups of flour, regular all-purpose flour. There's a ½ ounce of salt. Add a ½ ounce of salt and a pinch of salt, okay? Let me see. The corn syrup is 1 pound and 1 ounce. Then you're going to add water at the end. Water is a ½ cup plus 1/8 of a cup, you know, which is 1 ounce. So, you know, a ½ cup and 1 ounce. Okay, now there's the cocoa and the salt, and here comes the flour. The flour is 2 cups. The cocoa is 9 ounces. And the salt is a ½ ounce plus a pinch. All right, now look, you want to mix them like this. You want to incorporate the flour and the cocoa in that bowl, because if you put the cocoa in with the eggs and then you put the flour on top of it, it's going to take too long to mix it, and the you know, the stuff is finished. You know what I mean? Brownies and cookies, it's very, very important not to over mix it. You know, you really will screw it up if you over mix it. All right, so now there, I blended in the cocoa, the flour, and the salt. Now I'm going to add the walnuts to it in a second here. Look, the nuts, you could use pecans, walnuts, what are those ones from Hawaii? Macadamias. You could probably use pistachio nuts if you wanted. You know, try something new, you know. All right, so now I'm gonna show you how to do the nuts here. These are walnut halves, so they're too big. You know, I have to break them down a little bit. So here's what you do: you take your rolling pin, put a handful of them on your board, and just roll it like that. You don't have to chop them; you just roll it, and the nuts will just break apart. It's very simple. Okay, there we go. We're crushing them. Now the nuts I'm going to put in with the flour and the cocoa. And then we're going to add all that stuff to the eggs. You know, I got to tell you, man, my KitchenAid, that mixer, I mean, there is so much stuff in this mixer that it starts to fall out. You know, I mean, I made a giant mess. This place is ruined. There's cocoa all over the place. There's flour everywhere. You know, the KitchenAid is only 1.5 gallons content. All right, now look, I have a little tiny scale. I got it at Walmart. It's like $5, but it works. I measured the sugar. I measured the shortening, the cocoa, the flour. No, the flour was 2 cups. What else? Well, and the walnuts. So, I mean, it works. You know, if you know, yeah, I mean, you might want to get one. I think it was $5. It was a little less than $5 actually. But it helps because, like I said, there's a lot of my recipes that are in pounds and ounces, not cups and tablespoons. So I don't know, you might want to get one, you might not, I don't know. Okay, anyway, there's all the walnuts. All right, now This is going to go into the egg butter shortening. It's going to go into that. Alrighty. Okay, now look. I'm going to turn the mixer on for a second, only to make room for the rest of this flour and stuff. You know, I keep saying it's very important to not over mix it. And believe me, I mean it. The only reason I'm turning it on now is because I got to have room for the rest of this stuff. I mean, I didn't realize how much I was making here. You know, like I said, I divided this recipe by 10. So, you know, you can imagine 10 pounds of butter, 30 pounds of sugar, 60 eggs. You know, it's a lot of stuff. Okay, so now here it is. Okay, it's all in there, I think. Yeah, half of it's on the counter, but most of it's in there. All right, and I'm going to lose a little bit more here when I turn this thing on, but that's all right. You know, you're only losing a little bit. It's not a big deal. Okay, now the only thing left is a half cup plus 1 ounce of water. So it's no, wait a minute. Yeah, it's 9 ounces of water. All right. So now I'm having a problem because the stuff is coming out. You know, like I said, that bowl is only 1.5 gallons, and I ended up making 1.5 gallons. Man, I was happy that the KitchenAid actually could do it. You know. All right, there you go. There's the half cup plus 1 ounce of water. Okay, now this is the important part. Don't over mix this. Okay, all you want to do is make sure that, you know, everything's incorporated, and then stop mixing it. And you don't want to whip it, you know, you just want to mix it all together. All right, here, I'm just going to scrape the bowl down one time. That beater that I'm using, it has the rubber parts on the outside of it. So what it does is it scrapes the bowl as it's turning. You know what I mean? The rubber strips on the side, you know, they clean the bowl as the thing is on. But I just stirred it anyway, just because I'm not going to mix it that long. So just stir it up one time somewhere in there. All right, here we go. How long am I mixing this? 10 seconds? Yeah, I don't even think that was 10 seconds. Okay, just remember that. It's all important. Cookies and brownies, do not over mix. I can't say it enough. Okay. So I'm going to end up with 1 full sheet pan of brownies. There, you see that mixer? You see the edges of it? It has like a rubber strip. And the strip is what scrapes the bowl as the thing is turning around. I'm sorry this video is so long. I really don't know how it got this long. I don't know. But it is. And I don't know why. It shouldn't be this long. But anyway, I wanted to explain everything to you, you know. Now, if you're going to do this with a mixer that you have, you know, one of them handheld mixers, well, what I suggest is once you cream the butter and add the eggs and the sugar and the corn syrup, I suggest you put the powder, you know, the dry ingredients, put them in and then mix it by hand, because the little hand mixers, you're gonna over mix it. Just get all the wet ingredients going, and then just put the dry ingredients in and mix it by hand. You know, just keep folding it over until it's all mixed in. All right, here we go. Now, this stuff is very thick. I don't know what the stuff in the package is like. I never made that, but this stuff is thick. And also, there's no leavening agents in here. There's no powdered baking powder. There's no baking soda. There's nothing. All there is 8 eggs. That's what is going to make it rise, are the eggs. When I first took it out of the oven, when they were done, they were puffed up. You know, I should have put that on the film, but I didn't. My dog was screaming to go outside, so I just took them out of the oven and I took them outside. But they were puffed up. But like a souffle, they'll fall down because the eggs, you know, the eggs just aren't strong enough to hold everything up. So that's what happens. What happens is it blows up. Oh, there's that strip on that thing. I don't know why I'm showing you now. Anyway, the eggs blow up, and then once they start to cool, then they go back down, and it makes the brownie concentrated, you know. It's like in a souffle, the same thing. Although a souffle should stand up because it's not as heavy as a brownie. The eggs cannot hold the brownie up. There's no way. Like I said, a souffle, it should be able to hold it up. There's nothing in a souffle except a little flour and a little, you know, egg whites, egg yolks, flour, and then flavoring. You know, some melted chocolate or, you know, whatever kind of souffle it is. But this stuff here is way too heavy. The eggs cannot hold it up. But that's what you want. You know, you want it to swell up, and then as it goes back down, man, you got a nice concentrated chewy brownie. Holy moly. These are good, man. Okay, now when you bake it, here's what I do. I put it in at 350 for about 5 or 6 minutes at 350. And then back it down to about 310. You know, 325 is a little too hot. Try to get it a little bit below 325. And you're probably going to bake them for, well, depending on what kind of pan you use, you're probably going to bake them for 40 minutes. Man, look at how thick they are. Anyway, start out at 350 for like 5 or 6 minutes and then bring it down. 310 is perfect. For, you know, I would start checking it at 30 minutes. Start checking it. And the way you check it is, you know, the same way you check a cake. You stick something in it, and if it comes out clean, then they're done. You know, don't overcook them because they're gonna seem like they're not done when you take them out. You know, they're gonna seem kind of you know, kind of like they're not set up. But believe me, that's the eggs. Once the eggs start to cool, they'll go back down, and it's just going to be a concentrated brownie. This recipe is kick ass, I'm telling you. Like I said, you might want to cut that in half. You know, you do the math. You know what I should have done? I should have weighed everything and then measured it out in a measuring cup. Next time I make them, that's what I'll do. And then I'll have it all, you know, in measuring cups and tablespoons. All right, there they are. They're cooked. Now, like I said, they, you know, they might feel a little bit that they're not done. Don't let it fool you. All right, now watch. Here's what you do. Oh, okay, I'm just cutting this one. I'm cutting the edge of it because the paper didn't go all the way to the edge. I'm going to flip them over, and then I'm going to put them on the bottom of the pan, and then I'm going to put ganache on top. All right, there they are. You know what? I also suggest, if you're going to do some baking, you know, I also suggest that you buy that, what's it called? Oh, man. The parchment paper. Because look at how easy this is. It just peels off. The whole thing is out of the pan. You don't have to fight with it, getting it out of the pan. I mean, parchment paper is the way to go. It has saved many pastry chefs. I can tell you. All right. Now I got to slide this off and put it onto that thing there. There you go. Okay, now it's up high, so you can cut it very easily. You can put the ganache on really easy. Ganache is very simple. All ganache is melted chocolate chips and heavy cream. That's all. That's all it is. There's nothing more in it. I use a semi-sweet chocolate chips. And ganache is really cool. Rather than using chocolate, you know, chocolate, once you refrigerate it, man, it gets hard as a rock. You know, there's not much you can do with it. But ganache can be even frozen, and you'll still be able to cut through it. It's good stuff, man. It really is. And tastes good, too. All right, this paper gave me a little bit of a hard time, but not much. But I'll tell you, that's a lot easier than trying to cut them in the pan and then try to scoop them out of the pan. Oh, man, that's just a big pain. All right, there we go. Okay, cool. The parchment paper I bought online. I can't remember what store I bought it at, but if you just type in parchment paper for baking, I'm sure it'll take you to 150 places that sell parchment paper. I can't remember how much it was. I don't think it was too much. But, man, this stuff, I mean, man, it's the best. When I make cookies, I put them on parchment paper. They come right off. I mean, there's no, you know, there's no hassle at all. All right, there we go. Now we got 2 of these things. This makes a lot of brownies, believe me. You know, you could probably freeze some, but, you know, I mean, I don't think anybody's family is big enough to where they could eat 2 of these. I doubt it. All right, now here's the chocolate. This is about 3/4 of a bag of semi-sweet chocolate chocolate chips. There's the heavy cream. Okay. Now the chocolate's in a double boiler, but what happens is the heavy cream cools the chocolate off. So I have to put it back on the stove here somewhere. All right, now you got the melted chocolate. Okay, let me take it out of that water because you don't want any water in the chocolate. All right, now you just kind of stir it around. Just keep stirring. I could have stirred it a little bit more. I was kind of in a hurry because there is a few chocolate chip lumps that are still in it when I go to spread it on top. But I was kind of in a hurry. You know what else is nice? If you take white chocolate and you put the ganache on the brownie, and then you take white chocolate and you make lines on top of the brownie with the white chocolate, and then you take a knife and you just slide it across. You know, like about 20 times. You just slide it across the brownie, and the white chocolate will blend in with the ganache. Man, it looks really good. It's really cool. But I didn't have any white chocolate. I figured I'd just tell you about it. All right, while I'm mixing that up, here's the recipe again. It's a ½ pound of butter and a ½ pound of margarine. It's 9 ounces of shortening. Crisco is good. It's 3 pounds of sugar. It's 2 cups of eggs, or 8 jumbo eggs. It's 9 ounces of cocoa, 2 cups of flour, a ½ ounce of salt, and then a pinch. So you want a ½ ounce plus a little pinch more. You got 1 pound, 1 ounce of corn syrup, a half, and 1 ounce. Wait a minute. A ½ and 1/8 cup of water. All right, so what is that? That's 8, 9. It's 9 ounces of water. And then 9 ounces of pecans, walnuts, macadamia nuts, you know, anything you want to put in there. I think pistachios would be really good in there. I'm pretty sure they would. Okay, now, since we flipped them over, now we've got the bottom, which is smooth. You know, the bottom is real nice and level. Okay, there goes the ganache. Like I said, I could have got all the little lumps out of it, but you know, I was just in a hurry. I'm sorry. Yeah, and it helps if you have one of those cake one of those cake knives. And when I was in a German pastry shop, they called it a palette. That was a palette. And back then, I only had straight ones. You know, I didn't have the one that's curved like this one. And somebody, I don't remember where, but somebody turned me on to this one that's curved, and holy crap, man, that's all I ever use. Forget the straight ones. All right, there we go. This is the second one. Man, that's a lot of brownies, I gotta tell you. You could probably get 60 brownies out of that. You know, 30 on each pan. Do it for your bake sale at church. Holy crap, you'll be a hero. All right. You know, I can't eat sugar, but the hell with it. I'm going to have some of these brownies. I don't care. I'm going to take one pan into the bar and let everybody munch on them. Okay, now you're going to do a little decoration on this one. Wait, I'll show you. You just take your cake knife, your palette, and you just wiggle it back and forth. Watch. Wing, wing, wing. There you go. And you can't really see it here, but what it's doing is it's just putting in waves. You know, it looks, you know, better than nothing. Okay. All right, I have to clean the kitchen, man. I made a complete mess. Uh-oh, I got to try this first. Oh, yeah, baby. Oh, man. Delicious. Now, listen, I got to tell you something. You might be able to find this stuff somewhere else around town. Somebody else might make homemade brownies, but you're not going to find them any better than this. Okay, see, I got to eat.